This is pretty much based on a comment that was left on my channel yesterday, and it had me thinking about a lot of things. And I was remembering growing up, and I have some very good memories of my early years, and I'm particularly focusing on the 70s when I was in high school. And what a different world it was then. You know, a cell phone was unheard of, and home computers, laptops, video games, all these gadgets did not exist. And it was wonderful when I think back on it. Um, Life was an adventure, and we were fearless. I was an explorer. Yes, I was. Even as a child, younger than that, even as a child, I would go exploring in sewage tunnels, big old tunnels, and I grew up in the military, so we lived in a lot of different places. So if we lived near woodlands, go exploring in the woods. If we didn't, if we lived on base, for example, I always had a bike, and I would ride and ride and ride. We were never home. We were never home in front of the television, except late at evening with the family maybe. We were Ours was a special program. Otherwise, shows like the Waltons. My goodness, they don't have shows like the Waltons now. It just is inconceivable. This world is so far gone. But we go riding, and I remember one friend in particular, Billy Reese, uh, probably the best friend I ever had growing up. We just go riding and exploring and find ourselves in whole new areas, worlds that we didn't know about. We weren't afraid. And our parents weren't worried about us either. They knew we were safe. It's not like that now. What we have today is what I call the AI generation. It's being programmed. It has been programmed. It's being programmed to be dehumanized. That's right, to become machine like and to detach from human experience, to have artificial experience. That's what Facebook is. That's not real. Even though there's real people on Facebook, it's not real. Most of the people really, I don't think I know hardly any of them. I mean, I guess I could call them friends, but I don't communicate with them even through texting or anything. But that is the only way to communicate now, texting. People don't use the phone like they used to. The phone was at home too. If you didn't worry about the phone. If you got home, if there was a message, you might return the call or you wouldn't return the call. It was just, it wasn't important. What was important was getting out. And another friend, Mitchell Garber, we'd go out. He had a telescope. It was awesome. We'd go out, find a place, and look at the stars. Do kids do that now? No, they're at home looking at their phones or looking at their little PlayStations or whatever they are. And they're given them at a very young age. And it's sick and it's unhealthy. And I see where it's gone, where it's going. And it makes me sad. And they're becoming dehumanized, detached from human experience. They don't socialize, they don't interact, they don't know how to interact. And of course, now it's made worse with their separating them in the classrooms by 6 feet, still wearing masks, all that nonsense. But they're being conditioned. They're being made into less than human so that when they do get that, it's just, it's a step, it's the process. They want to take away our humanity. They're succeeding. And I'm just so grateful that I have good memories of what it was like to be fully human, fully alive. None of this nonsense, none of this time wasting nonsense. I remember when I did have this young man living in my home, and at the time, I think he was like 19, and he had a messed up family life. That's why he came to live with me. And I mean, he was of age because he obviously he had a job. He worked where I worked, All he did is play these stupid games and wanted to drag me into them, and I couldn't get into it, and I won't get into it. I won't get into anything that's gonna dehumanize me. If I'm gonna do something, it's got to be creative. It's got to be. I like doing a little bit of art and stuff like that, writing, that kind of thing. Something that expresses my humanity. I'm done with this machine age world because what it's going heading toward the AI world, the world where AI is running everything. No thanks. But anyway, I just was reflecting on this and how sad it is and how wonderful it was even 40, 50 years ago, you know? Oh well. This is what we've wrought. This is what we've sown with our wonderful technology. Yeah. It's going to all be taken away, the technology. Maybe that's a good thing. And I was also thinking, like, if this were even the early 1800s or something, the concept of an EMP or a power outage, so what? They knew how to survive back then. They knew how to cope. Not today. We'd fall apart. We will fall apart. Sad, isn't it?